It's 11:52 p.m. Not a Friday, not a hard day, just a Wednesday, exactly like every other Wednesday for the last 6 years. Marcus is lying in bed, laptop open, blue light cutting through the dark. He's staring at a LinkedIn profile, someone named Connor, 35 years old, VP of Operations, 3 promotions in 4 years. Marcus remembers 2018. 3 desks apart, same stapler, same salary, same hunger. He closes the laptop. The click sounds sharp in the quiet room. The silence that follows isn't peaceful. It's heavy. It's the sound of a life that isn't failing, but isn't happening either. His phone lights up. Dating app notification. He turns it face down without looking, stares at the ceiling, and whispers the same sentence he's been telling himself since he was 29. I'm fine. I just need to get my life together. I'll start Monday. But he's 37 now. Nobody warns you about this. The life that's just comfortable enough to stay in, but not alive enough to actually want. That's what we're talking about today. His name is Marcus Webb, 37, Logan Square, Chicago. Project manager at a logistics company you've never heard of. $74,000 a year. On paper, a life that worked out. But look closer at the rhythm. 6:47 a.m., first alarm, snooze. 6:56, second alarm, snooze. 7:05, the third one. He gets up, not because he wants to, because he's afraid of being late. Same Keurig pod every morning. Dark roast from Costco. Box of 80. 3 years running. Never tried a different one. 23 minutes on I-90. A playlist called Morning Motivation he stopped actually listening to months ago. Lunch, Chipotle or Potbelly. Always one of the two. Orders without looking at the menu. Eats alone. Scrolls Reddit. Home by 6:15. DoorDash by 6:30. $400 a month on delivery. Couch by 7. Netflix until midnight. Wakes up at 3 a.m. for no reason he can name. Maybe I'm just tired. Work's been a lot lately. $8,400 in savings, the same as 2 years ago. Planet Fitness membership he hasn't used in 6 months. 11 books in Audible. Finished 1.5. None of this happened overnight. First year, barely a whisper. Stopped talking about work at Thanksgiving. Stopped setting goals. Skipped the gym. Told himself he'd start again after Q3. Q3 came and went. By year 3, younger colleagues started moving past him. He watched them get promoted and told himself, they just want the title more. I care about balance. But if you asked him what he actually did with that balance, he would have paused a beat too long. 3 weeks ago, a senior PM role opened up. Marcus knew he was qualified. He opened a new email draft, typed his name in the subject line, and sat there. 40 minutes, watching the cursor blink, then closed the tab. I'll update my resume this weekend. The weekend came. 4 episodes of Succession, Thai food, asleep on the couch by 10:30. The email stayed empty. Marcus didn't choose this life. He just stopped choosing anything else. Here's the part nobody talks about. If you asked Marcus whether he has a problem, he'd say no. And he'd mean it, because in his mind, he's doing everything right. Full-time job, pays his bills, never asked anyone for anything. That's not comfort zone behavior. That's responsibility. But Marcus has confused not falling apart with actually going somewhere. Those are not the same thing. So when the guilt surfaces, when he closes the email draft, skips the gym, watches another Sunday disappear, he doesn't sit with it. He opens YouTube, finds a video about habits or discipline, or how successful people spend their mornings. For 45 minutes, he feels like he's doing the work. Psychologists call this productive procrastination, motion that mimics progress, reading about running instead of running, planning the life you want instead of taking one real step toward it. And nobody is correcting him. His boss is fine. His friends ask, "How's everything?" He says, "Good, busy." They nod. They say, "Same." End of conversation. Good, busy. Two words that end every conversation that could have actually mattered. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain is built to scream when you touch a hot stove, but it has no alarm for a life that shrinks slowly. It just adjusts, quietly rewrites what normal feels like, until one day, fine becomes the finish line. Right now, maybe on this very device, there's a tab open about changing your life. A gym charge on a card for a place you haven't been to in months. Something you've told yourself you'd start. After this, after that, once things settle down. And the person you used to tell has quietly stopped asking. The problem was never information. Something else is running the show. A Saturday afternoon in October. Marcus's father, Raymond, 67, retired electrician from Rockford, sits on the couch, looks around the apartment. Big TV, no photos on the walls, 4 unopened Amazon boxes in the corner. He doesn't comment. He just looks at his son and asks, quietly like he already knows the answer, "Marcus, you happy here?" Marcus responds in under a second, "Yeah, Dad, I'm good." Raymond holds his gaze. 3 full seconds. Doesn't nod, doesn't look away, then turns back to the television. That silence hit Marcus harder than any lecture could, because he heard himself. Not the words, the speed. "Yeah, I'm good." The same thing he tells everyone. Said so many times it doesn't mean anything anymore. Just the sound he makes when someone gets too close to the real question. After Raymond leaves, Marcus sits in his car. Doesn't start the engine. Outside, a kid, maybe 7, is learning to ride a bike. Falls. Gets up. Falls again. Doesn't look around to see who's watching. Just gets back on. Marcus watches. He doesn't reach for his phone. And in that quiet, he lets himself think the thought he's been running from for years. What if I actually tried? Really tried? And it still wasn't enough. That's the real thing. Not the gym, not the email. That question. The one hiding underneath all of it. Marcus didn't have a motivation problem. He had a protection problem. As long as he never fully committed, he got to keep the story. I haven't reached my potential yet. I could, if I actually decided to. Because you cannot fail at something you never truly attempt. The comfort zone isn't where lazy people live. It's where people with unrealized potential go. To keep it unrealized. And call that keeping it safe. On the surface, I'm not ready. One level down, I might try and fail. At the very bottom, the thing he'd never said to anyone. If I give this everything and it's still not enough, then who am I? That is not a career question. That is an identity question. And those are the ones that keep a person still for a decade. The longer you wait, the more the waiting feels like wisdom. But it isn't. It's just fear that learned how to be patient.
What Marcus did next wasn't dramatic. No 5 a.m. alarm, no cold shower. Just 3 small things, done quietly in the middle of an ordinary week. The first. Saturday night after Raymond left, Marcus sat at his kitchen table and wrote 5 sentences. His own obituary. Marcus Webb, 80, worked 35 years as a project manager. He was reliable. He was comfortable. He read it back once, didn't rewrite it, just let it sit. Something shifted in his chest. Not panic, not drama, just a quiet signal. The kind your body sends when something isn't right and you finally stopped looking away from it. Your brain reacts to losing something far more powerfully than gaining something. Show it the version of your life that never changes, written plainly in 5 sentences, and something wakes up that no motivational video ever could. The second. Monday, 7:15 a.m. Keurig running. Marcus opens a new email draft and types 4 words in the subject line. Marcus Webb, Senior PM. Closes the laptop, pours his coffee, leaves for work. 2 minutes, maybe less. The problem was never the application. It was the weight his brain had stacked on top of it. One small, undeniable action cuts through all of that, not by solving it, but by making it smaller than the doing. Don't set a goal. Set a moment. Monday, 7:15 a.m. Subject line. Concrete beats abstract. Every time. The third. Wednesday night. Marcus texts his closest friend, Devin. Hey, I've been hiding behind not being ready for 4 years. Applying for that role by Friday. Just needed to say it out loud. Devin replies 20 minutes later. It's about time. Go. The moment those words left his phone, they stopped being a thought he could quietly abandon. Someone else was holding them now. That Friday, Marcus submitted the application. 8 weeks later, first round interview. He didn't get the job. 2 days of real disappointment. And then it lifted. Not because something good happened, but because he realized he was still standing. The thing he'd spent years protecting himself from had happened, and he was okay. 3 weeks later, he applied somewhere else. Took 11 minutes. He also started running, not for his health, not for a goal, because he wanted one thing in his life that was hard and entirely his. The goal isn't to stop being afraid. It's to stop letting your fear make your calendar decisions for you. Marcus never hit rock bottom. That was the whole problem. Nothing fell apart. It just got quieter, less urgent, less his. Until one Wednesday night, staring at someone else's LinkedIn, he realized he couldn't remember the last time he actually wanted something. The comfortable life isn't the enemy. The life you drifted into, without ever asking, is this actually what I would have chosen? That's the enemy. Not dramatic, not sudden, just quiet, year by year, in the corners. You made it to the end of this video. Most people click away the moment something feels too close to home. So if you're still here, something in this landed. I only have one question for you, no pressure. What are you waiting for? Not the reason, not the excuse, just the thing. Drop it in the comments. One word. Say it somewhere outside your own head, because naming it is the first step toward moving toward it. Next week, why self-help books make most people feel like they're growing without actually changing anything.
and what actually rewires behavior. It's not what the books tell you. If this video felt uncomfortably familiar, you're exactly who this channel was built for. See you next week.